folks, my name is Mark and this is Why I Hate the World. How's everybody doing out there? So, well, the election is over and everybody, if you don't know this by now, then I don't know, you must be living in a fucking cave somewhere. Anyway, and Obama won re-election, which is awesome, sweet. I'm very happy, and what I can say is that, I really wasn't that afraid that, people would actually choose Mitt Romney over Obama because he just had a lot of things going against him from the beginning. I mean, I made a video before here called, Mitt Romney Sucks, where I listed all the reasons why I didn't like Mitt Romney, but, I think what it really came down to was, just the fact that he's like, I think people are kind of waking up to the fact that, people like him are actually the problem. Okay, like, we just had this giant, back in 2008 there was this giant financial meltdown, and I think people kind of still realize, even though it's been a few years and the economy's gotten a little bit better, not by much, but a little bit, right? But people are still kind of hip to the fact that the crisis that we were in was kind of caused by people like Mitt Romney in the first place, and it was he just ran like a very just shitty campaign. I mean, if you think about it, like he didn't give a lot of information about himself, he the whole like not revealing his tax returns things, and then just gaffe after gaffe. He went to Europe and it was a fucking fiasco, and all the Europeans were fucking like, calling him Mitt the Twit and everything, and then he came back here and the infamous fucking 47% remark, and my wife drives 2 fucking Cadillacs and I know a few people that own like NASCAR. It was just kind of like, it was basically just one fucking disaster after another, So I really wasn't afraid that like people were actually going to be like, oh, Mitt Romney is a good choice, he'll actually fix the world, I wasn't afraid of that. I was more afraid of actual like shenanigans on the part of, the Republican machine, right? Voter suppression, things like that. I mean, we saw a lot of that happening before the election started. There was all these voter ID laws that got passed in several different states, and like Pennsylvania, where they like fucking, got blocked, and to be, which is, the thing is that like the Democrats like fought back, which is awesome. The voter rights groups and things like got these voter ID laws like overturned and blocked and kept them from being implemented and all that shit, But it was like, just a lot of voter suppression and a lot of dirty tricks, heard this thing about how this flyer went out in Ohio in heavily Democratic areas that was printed in English on one side, and then on the Spanish side it was printed in Spanish, and it had the wrong day, like the wrong voting day, Stuff like that, people getting robocalls saying that they can vote over the phone, or they can vote by email, shit like that. And it's just really, really fucked up. And, I think actually I was a victim of this. Like, I went here, I'm in California, I'm in Los Angeles, right? And I went down to vote, like I do every year, there's a high school, or grade school rather, down the street from where I live. And I went down there and they had me listed as a mail-in ballot. And they said, oh, we need to see the mail-in ballot. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I never signed up for a fucking mail-in ballot, And I even told them that, and like the lady just kind of looked at me and crossed it out and gave me a ballot. When she like realized I wasn't gonna leave, I'm like, no, I never signed up for that. Well, it says that you signed up for mail-in ballots. Like, I didn't. Well, it says you did. Well, too fucking bad I didn't, And she like gave me one, and then I went and voted because fuck that, like somebody, and it wasn't just me. Like, I've actually heard on the internet that happened to a lot of Democrats, somebody fucking did something to try to like, because if you put in a mail-in ballot, that if you don't have it with you, then you have to do a provisional ballot, and somebody tried to like fucking tamper with it. It's like, that kind of pisses me off, that somebody like, I'm, being a victim of these fucking things like makes you think about it. It's like, damn, that's somebody out there, and the thing is they're gonna get away with it. That's the really sad part, is that all the voter tampering and like, the fucking, just like these Tea Party groups that are like challenging voters and shit, like they're all just gonna get away with it because the election's over with. So now it's out of the news, and You know, even if like a few of them do get busted, it's just going to happen again and again and again. And the next fucking election, it's going to get even worse, and so on. You know, like you have like people in Florida waiting fucking 7 hours to vote and shit like that. It's just really, really sad that, and it's always from the fucking Republicans. I mean, when was the last time you heard about voter suppression coming from the fucking Democrats, right? Coming from the progressives, coming from the leftists. It doesn't fucking happen, okay? It's always the right wing who work really, really hard to prevent people from voting. It's because they can't fucking win when people come out and vote, right? And they know it, and that's exactly what fucking happened this time, okay? This time there was like an unprecedented amount of the Latino vote went out. You know, Latinos went out and voted in like larger numbers than ever this year, and lo and behold, you know, Barack Obama becomes president. Not only that, they picked up a couple of Democratic Senate seats, right? And all the fucking initiatives, well, almost all of them, but like a lot of these really like, you know, progressive liberal initiatives got passed, like fucking legalizing marijuana in Colorado, shit like that. You know, here in California, like they actually approved a fucking tax increase, which is like to fund education, which is like fucking awesome. Like I'm surprised that even happened, you know, because that never fucking happens. Because in California, there's a very, very small Republican minority, but they managed to pass a fucking law that says that all tax increases have to have like, you know, a 75% like, you know, vote in the state legislature, which never fucking happens. And, you know, just they basically have California by the balls, you know. And I think I actually heard somewhere that now they actually are gone. They voted out the Republican minority in California, which is like good. Maybe we can actually finally get the state, like, you know, clean this fucking state up now. But anyway, I mean, it was, you know, I'm actually very happy. I'm glad that, you know, Obama won. I'm glad that fucking a few of the, you know, some state senators got elected and that kind of thing. And all the really people like Todd Aiken got fucking, you know, knocked out. Right. And I think it just kind of goes to show that, you know, when people are motivated, you know, like they were in this election, because that was another thing that like all the right-wing media, you know, the Fox News people and shit like that, and like Rasmussen polls, you know, they're putting out these fucking highly skewed polls saying that Mitt Romney's ahead, while every other poll has him like, you know, behind, and Rasmussen has him ahead by fucking 8 points and shit like that. And then Fox News telling people like, yeah, there's an enthusiasm gap, right? It was all bullshit. It was all bullshit. It was fucking, they threw everything they had to like all the dirty fucking tricks, all like the shifty fucking fake media, you know, like they did everything they could to basically win this election, and they lost hard because people came out and voted, okay? And this, you know, I'm really happy. I'm glad. I think, you know, because who you vote for matters. You know, these things matter. Like who the president is matter, right? The state initiatives fucking matter. You know, whether or not you go to jail for smoking weed matters in Colorado. You know, whether or not fucking you can fund your schools in California fucking matters, right? And these things don't happen if you don't go out and vote. And I'm really, really happy that this time people went out and took control. So anyway, congratulations, America. It's a great time for democracy. Adios, folks.